Hi everyone, my name is Raphael Dabrowski. I just want to show some audio implementation I created for a game called Wizards in Unreal Engine using MetaSounds. For this game I covered the ambiences, the music, the SFX, as well as the UI sounds. The game Wizards is a multiplayer free-for-all game that can support up to 6 players where everyone's fighting to stay alive to be the last one standing. Players can create custom characters using different spells in the game, as well as different cosmetics. There's a few different maps in the game with each ambience to go along with it. How I have my ambiences set up is there's basically one main track that's looping, with a bunch of other specs that are going on, playing at random intervals. So for example, in my specs, I have a bunch of different things, whether it's tree branches, birds chirping, woodpeckers, as well as the wind whooshing. And then to trigger these at different times, I'm using trigger delays, trigger repeats, as well as this random time. That way they aren't all playing over top of each other at the same time. And so starting off with the forest map here, when we play it, it sounds like this. And so that's the forest ambience, but then there's other maps like the winter map. And then there's a desert map. And then there's also a spooky nighttime map. So those are the ambiences for the different maps. Going over to music. And so for the music, instead of just having one static track, I tried to make something a little bit more dynamic by having the music increase in intensity as players die during the game. So at the beginning of the game, this is how the music starts. And then as more players are eliminated, the music's going to increase in intensity by having more bass and low end added to it, and that's basically controlled by the volume here. And then I just have this interp time here of 3 seconds, that way the music isn't just immediately cutting in and out as the volume changes, introducing new tracks. So it'll play like this. You get down to your last few players, and then this volume meter is going to increase from 0 to 1. And as you get down to your last players, this last one will also increase for the final intensity, giving some more high end, giving you the completed track. And that way, this makes the track a little more exciting to listen to as it changes a little bit as the game progresses. And then moving on to SFX, this game has a bunch of different spells in it that people can choose from to make their own custom builds. Basically, each class kind of works the same, and that usually you have a spell that you have to charge up before you throw it. And so starting with the fire spells, this is the fire spell charge. And then once the spell's charged up all the way, then you can shoot the spell. So this is the sound of the fire spell shooting. And here's some examples of some different fire spells as well. And then there's also this spell. And so it basically works the same for the other spells. We have the water spell charge, as well as a water spell shoot. Here's the water spell charge, as well as when it shoots. Here's a couple different water spells as well, such as the water bomb. And the summon for a companion. And then lastly, there's also some rock spells as well. So here's the rock spell charge. And then when you shoot it, as well as a couple different spells for this class. such as the meteor. And then here's the earthquake. So for most of these SFX, these are on a random container, so a different sound gets chosen every time, as well as this random float that helps give a little more variety with each time a sound's played. And then I also covered the UI sounds for the game as well, so here's just the select button. It's just a nice simple like page turning with some writing on it. Helps give that sort of inscription wizard vibe, like they're writing something down in a book. And then the wizards also have a bunch of cosmetic items they can equip as well. So here's some variations on some cloth and metal pieces they can equip. And so that basically covers a lot of the MetaSound implementation I created for this game. Wizards was a really cool game to work on, and I'm really glad I could show some of that here today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.